think I like it. Hi dreamers and make-believers. In today's video, I'm doing my most anticipated reads currently on my bookshelf. Because there are many books that I haven't bought yet that I am just dying to get my hands on so I can read them, but there's also a number of books on the shelf behind me that I have not read yet. Even though I feel like I've read so many of them, it's like it's just never ending. But I can't complain because I love it and I go out and buy more all the time, and I'm already thinking of the next ones I'm going to buy the next time I go to the bookstore, which will probably be this weekend. So anyways, just focusing on the ones currently behind me, I'm first going to see how many books there are, because there is a lot that I bought that I haven't read yet, and there's a lot that my friend has let me borrow that I haven't read yet. So I'm going to see how many I have, how many he's given me, and then I'm going to put them all together and see how many I actually have to choose from. And then I'm going to try to narrow that down to my top 5. There's 11 on that shelf. I've read all of this shelf and I've read all of this shelf, obviously, so it's the next shelf. Okay, so I've just finished counting my books that I have bought that I haven't read yet, and there are 21 books on the shelf. Now I'm going to count how many my friend has given me to borrow that I haven't read yet. There are 18 books that my friend's given me that I haven't read yet. That's 39 books for me to get through that are currently sitting on my shelf. This is not including Leigh Bardugo's Warbringer. This is not including Zenith. This is not including Because You Love to Hate Me. This is not including so many books that I still plan to buy. There's 39 books that I need to get through on this shelf. Now, from these 39 books behind me, I'm going to try and narrow it down to my top 5 most anticipated reads. Okay. So, in no particular order, one book that I'm really looking forward to reading is Carve the Mark by Veronica Roth, who, as you all probably know, is the author of the Divergent series. Now, I really love Divergent. I gobbled it up. I devoured it. I loved it. I did not really care about Insurgent. It started to go a little bit off, and I wasn't sure about it. And we're not even going to talk about Allegiant. However, Divergent gives me hope that Veronica Roth is still a very talented writer. It's just that maybe she rushed Allegiant, I don't know. But I have high hopes for Carve the Mark being good because I really liked Divergent. Also, I really want to read this one because it's had such high controversy around it. I don't know if you've heard, but there has been slurs about this book being highly racist, that there is like a different race of people, but like the dark race is like savage and wild, and then the light race is pure, and I've heard that that's a whole bunch of boo-hockey.
I'll ask. Boo-hockey.
And like most readers, I want to make up my own opinion about this book and see if it was worth all the controversial hype. So I'm also looking forward to diving into it because it's just been such a big discussion point on BookTube. Another book on my top 5 is, of course, Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare, the creator of the Mortal Instruments, aka Shadowhunters. So I love her completely. I've been reading her books for years because I like to take my time with these books because they are incredible. But now she's come out with the Dark Artifices, she's come out with the Infernal Devices, she's come out with the Bane Chronicles. So now I have so much to read. Plus, there's a show now called Shadowhunters. So I am officially on City of Heavenly Fire, which is the 6th book in the Mortal Instruments series, and then I'm hoping to dive into more of her books. Now, I was hoping to dive into this one, and all the books that are currently on my shelf, this is highly anticipated. However, it now looks like I'm going to be doing a buddy read in November of the Infernal Devices. So this is from the Dark Artifices, so I don't know when I'm going to start this one. Another book from my shelf that I'm totally looking forward to reading is Heartless by Marissa Mayer. She is the one that does incredible retellings and then spins them on their head. So she did Cinder and Scarlet and Crest, and I'm looking forward to reading the rest in the Lunar Chronicles, which is by Marissa Mayer. And this is Heartless, which I believe is a Alice in Wonderland retelling, and she did such a good job with Cinderella and Red Riding Hood and spinning them on their heads that I'm really looking forward to see what she does with Heartless. The 4th most anticipated read on my shelf, again in no particular order, is Eragon, which I actually think I'm going to get to this year. So Eragon, as you know, is the story of one boy, one dragon, a world of adventure. It sounds amazing. So many people over and over again have told me that I'm going to love it. So finally, I am going to read it. And then the 5th and final book is Game of Thrones. I have had this on my shelf for such a long time. I've actually started it and read the first chapter or so, and I actually really liked it. But just like Outlander, its size intimidates me because, as you all know, I am a slow-ass reader, and this is going to take me like my entire month, if not 2, to get through because that is how slow I read. And the text is so tiny, and I just don't know how long it's going to take me to read this. I don't know how long it's going to take me to read it. And so, as much as I want to read Game of Thrones. I don't know when I'm gonna get around to reading it, but it is definitely one of the most anticipated books on my shelf. So that was actually harder than I expected it to be, and there's all these books screaming at me now in the back of my mind like, hey, aren't you excited about reading me? What about me? What about me? And I am actually excited to read so many books on my shelf, but those I have decided are my top 5. And that is all for today. Until next time, I'll see you. Bye!